being so spiritually awake and aware, there's few things that you have to be aware of, because being highly awake and aware of your light and your truth, most women, they stay stuck in survival because they feel they have to fix everything around them. Then they will be whole and complete. Then they can focus on themselves. Then they can rise to their truth. The deeper truth that I want you to know is, when we are so awake, when we are so aware, we are not only just experiencing our own frequency, our own energy, but we are also experiencing energy from everyone else, our environment, people, where we go, who we socialize with, our place where we live in, the neighbors. We are being exposed to a lot of energy and frequency. So that is the one thing that being highly awake brings, that we have to be aware of, because you may feel that you cannot get out of your situation and you are always emotionally exhausted, and you have a purpose, you have a calling that you feel you meant for, but you find yourself being exhausted and you feel like you're not ready yet. What I want you to know is that when we live in a paradigm of survival where we feel that we have to fix everything in the outside, we have to be perfect before we can do anything, that is survival. That is not leading from your higher consciousness. That is not leading from your higher mind and higher self. You're leading from that survival place where you feel that you are not yet perfect. You have to know everything before you do something. You have to be so good at what you want to do that before you do it, you have to perfect that. So that's the biggest issue. Someone who is highly driven, ambitious, and is spiritually awake and wants to do purposeful work, they struggle with, because they get stuck in this pattern of perfection and not good enoughness. That comes from the deep-rooted unworthiness, because when we feel unworthy, when we feel we cannot make mistake, we are operating from unworthiness. And when we operate from unworthiness, we operate from survival. So what I want you to know, that you're not here to survive, but you are here to rise in your purpose and prosperity. The reason you've been awakened, the reason God has given you this gift of awareness and awakening, is because so that you show people the path to light, show people how to be, because the world is shifting towards a spiritual economy of ease, flow, abundance, effortlessness, beingness. That is where the world is moving towards. And you've been awakened to be the leader, to lead people towards higher consciousness, because people need to be awake in order to survive in the new earth, in the new reality that is coming through. So if you feel that you're not ready yet, if you feel that you are not there and you're not perfect and you're operating from survival, you've been given the light. You've been awakened to the truth, because you meant to be rich. You meant to be wealthy. You meant to guide people. You meant to be a light leader. You meant to operate in the frequency of light. And when you survive, when you operate in survival, in unworthiness and feeling like you're not perfect yet, you are not operating from your higher consciousness. You're operating from your past self, the past self who needed validation, who needed approval, who needed someone to give them permission. That is a victim archetype, and you are no longer that. You are no longer that identity. Your identity has shifted when you awakened, when you became aware. But the reason the body hasn't moved, the mind hasn't moved to that level, even though energetically you are in the higher place, but the body and the mind hasn't moved there, the congruency of your higher truth hasn't came through, because is this: your past self has been attached to your past identity of you, the way you used to be. And this is where you are finding yourself in survival. This is where you're finding yourself in a space where you know that you have so much wisdom, insight, awareness. You have so much light that is ready to come out to really shine in the world, but you are trying to get validation from people who are unable to see your light, unable to see your wisdom, unable to see who you are. So imagine being a Chanel bag and hanging in pound shop or dollar shop. So you are Chanel hanging in a dollar shop, and you want everyone who comes in a dollar shop to see your value and see your worth. They will not see your value. They will not see your worth because they haven't been awakened. They cannot see the light. They are sleeping. So if you are expecting somebody in a dollar store to value Chanel and value that bag and pay for that bag for the value it has, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that because you are the light that is stuck in that dark space, and you're seeking from darkness to show you the light. Does that make sense? You are seeking from darkness to show you the light. That's not going to happen. Darkness will only show you the darkness because that's what they know. When somebody knows darkness, they are only going to show you the darkness. So your expectation from them is keeping you in survival. Your seeking of validation and approval is keeping you in survival. But the higher truth is you meant to rise in that darkness to really elevate yourself in the light, because that's when they would know who you are. The dark cannot see the light if light doesn't rise, if light doesn't show up, if light doesn't own itself, if light doesn't allow itself to be seen, right? People who are in darkness, they will never, never, never will value what you have because they cannot see it. So removing the expectation of wanting them to see your light and really understanding you are the Chanel bag who is hanging in dollar store. So how can you change your environment so that you move in a place that value your value, that value you being Chanel and being treated like Chanel, being treated like somebody who's highly worthy and valued. You have to change your environment, and before you change your outside environment, you have to change your inner environment. What is happening in your own body, your own psyche, in your own projection and perception, because everything we perceive in some way we are projecting. When we are seeking validation, we are saying that we are not validated, therefore I want you to validate me. But because we do not feel validated by ourselves, we meet people, we attract people who are going to invalidate us, who are going to devalue us, because ultimately we are projecting I am not valued. Therefore the person who's perceiving the projection, they are seeing, okay, this person doesn't feel valued, therefore I'm going to show them they are not valued. They are going to respond to that perception that you have about yourself. So really understanding that people can only see you as much as you can see and embody yourself. So knowing that, changing your inner environment, changing the perception, changing the projection, changing the expectation that you have from others, and changing what you are visualizing, thinking, and absorbing, that will change your inner environment. And as you change your inner environment, the outside environment is going to change, because you will attract the right opportunities, right people, right environment. So really becoming aware that if you are in survival, if you are in still feeling that you are not good enough, you are not worthy, you are operating from survival, you meant to rise in your prosperity. And when you change your inner environment, you rise. You rise because you are able to see your truth, your light. And when you embody your truth and light, and how do you embody your truth and light? You embody your truth and light by seeing yourself first as the light, seeing yourself as awakened being, seeing yourself and operating and speaking in the language of highly wise and embodied version. But if you are operating from survival, you will not speak because you would say that, oh, other people would not understand me. Other people don't understand me, therefore I'm not going to speak. So you're waiting for other people to understand you before you share your wisdom. That means you're waiting for other people to change. And that's not going to happen until you own your light. They will not understand something that you are not showing. They are not going to understand something that you are not embodying. They're not going to understand something that you are not completely owning yourself. And when you own your light, your truth, and you embody it by speaking, by operating in a way that you are a Chanel bag, having the highest standard, having the boundaries, speaking in a way that feels like worth, feels like value, feels like premium, feels like luxury, feels like, wow, she is so powerful. She's like a warrior. She has so much light. She has so much positivity. She's so wise. People will start saying when you're owning and embodying your truth. So really be aware of, in order for you to feel like Chanel, you have to embody that truth. You have to embody your light, and you have to rise in your purpose before you become perfect, because there's nothing called perfectionism. There's nothing is perfect. Nobody is perfect, and you cannot expect perfect results without taking aligned, embodied, powerful action. And when you take that, you rise in your purpose, prosperity follows. Wealth follows, abundance follows, because you see yourself. And then when you see your light, when you embody your truth, people will do that. And it's not the other way around. You do not need other people to understand you. You have to understand the depth, the wisdom, the light of you, and you have to embody and own that wisdom, light, and truth. And when you do that, you rise in your purpose. So this reminder here is that you are not here to survive, because you are here to rise. You are here to awaken humanity. You are here to elevate the consciousness through your purpose-driven work. And if you are ready to embody your truth, if you are ready to rise in your purpose, if you are ready to be paid for your purpose and really embody and move from that place, then you can click the link below to apply for my mentoring, because there is $1 million hidden within you. And by you embodying your truth, you're going to unlock the million within you. With that, like this video if you like this video, and subscribe to my channel, and may the light in me reaches the light in you.